Hello children, today we are doing standard 9th economics, which is a part of your geography textbook. Chapter 8, Introduction to Economics. Now in this chapter, I want you to turn to page number 64. On page number 64, you have a list which talks about the expenses of a family. Now this expenditure list which is put up, that is, it first column is your serial number, second are the household items which are displayed, and the next is your expenses. How much is the cost or how much the money has been spent on it. Now in this income and expenditure chart which is there, I want to tell you that the first item which is there, daily food, then buying 2 sets of uniform, school stationery, medical expenditure, recreation, mobile bill, vegetables, fruits, etc., public transport, electricity bill, tourism, bank investment, right? All these are listed and the total comes up to 22,550. Now the items which we listed out were all household items which the family needs, right? Now I am also trying to highlight on one more point here, that is the monthly income of the family is 20,000, but the expenses are 22,550. Now if I want to strike a balance between income and expenditure, how much is my difference coming here? 2,550. Now if it is 2,550 which is exceeding my income, right? So I need to make some adjustments. So where will I adjust? I am trying to go to the recreation one where it is showing me 500. So I will reduce it by 50 rupees. So I make it 450. What about tourism? I can make adjustments there, right? So I am trying to make adjustments. Try to reduce that 4,000 to 2,000. Right, and then my total comes up to 19,050, and also I am saving 950 rupees, right? This is also called as house management. That means how well I have maintained my expenses at home. This adjustment of expenditure over income earned is also called as family management or household management, right? Keeping this in mind, I need to focus on the country's management, which is also very important, like the economy of a nation. How to satisfy the infinite wants or needs of the people, right? Now, how will I satisfy that? I need to know the meaning of economies. Now, the economies is derived from a Greek word, oikonomia, right, which means family management. And why they are trying to give us the compare it between family management and countries' economies? Because they are trying to say that there is some similarity. How well you manage your house, the same way you will try to manage the country as well. Now according to an economist, that is Lionel Robbins, he is quoting us that economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. That means trying to make use of the resources which are available. And human behavior is such, he is very innovative, he is trying to make use of whatever he has, right? Now generally speaking, what is economy? It is trying to tell us that the companies or the enterprises which are related to the production, the distribution and consumption of goods and services in a specific region is called an economy. Now, how many types of economies are there? There are 3 types. One is a capitalist economy, second is a socialist economy, third one is a mixed economy. In capitalist economy, the ownership and the management of the means of production is in the hands of the private individual, right? And their aim also is to earn maximum profit. Now, which are the countries which are using this economy? One is Germany, Japan and USA have adopted this economy. The socialist economy, second one, the means of production belong to the society as a whole. That is, the government controls the economy. So, government is totally for the economy, right? So, their aim also is to achieve social welfare, right? So, that whole point of view is different here. China, Russia have adopted this socialist type of economy. Then the last one is your mixed economy. That means both are there. You have a private sector also working there, you have a public sector also working. So, India is trying to pick up this. That is, both the sectors are used in Indian economy. That is, private and public sector. Both are working hand in hand. A balance between profit and social welfare is made in which economy? In India, Sweden and United Kingdom have adopted this type of economic system. Now, to have, or which are the factors which are, affecting the economy? Like, you have to keep that in mind. Which are the factors which are helping the economy, right? One is your geographical area and natural resources. So, if the area is very rich and there is a good vegetation, good industries will flourish there, raw material is available there, everything is there, then that particular factor, that particular place is going to do a very good job, right? And then they're looking at the population. Now, population also is a human resource, right, which will add to the labor force. So, population also is a very important factor. Then we come to the occupations, right? Now, we have the different occupations which are there, right? So, all these are also going to help us in our economy. Plus, there are certain professional people who are there. There is human resource development. So, all these professional people are also going to be a part of your economic upliftment. Then the political sovereignty. That means which party is ruling, which is the political party which is on which is going to be there in that particular state or in that particular country, which is going to promote the economic system. So, that also plays a very important role. Now, just below this pie diagram, you have, always remember, you have 3 points listed out there. One is economics is an important social subject. That means they want to tell us that economics is a part of your social science subject, that is a part of your history, geography, right? So, it is in that. Plus, it also tells you that it has got it tries to open a new point of view of yours. It tries to train you for the large scale agriculture, trade, finance, administration, law, and also try to improvise on your daily life, right? Economics holds a paramount importance in the social development of humans. That means if there is a good economy, then naturally the standard of living of those people are going to go high, plus the people are going to have a good and a better lifestyle, right? So, that is also very important. So, just mark that paragraph also. Always remember, you can just put a star there and write there, learn. Right, now we know about the factors, and we also know that why we are learning economics. So, how it is going to benefit us. Now, in the next column there at the side is also written as do you know. So, they want to tell us who was the person behind this, who was the father of economics, right? One is Adam Smith. So, he is known as the father of economics, and also he was from Scotland. So, he is a Scottish economist who has also published a book in 1776. The book's name is Wealth of Nations. Now, this book which he published, he has also mentioned that economics is like a science of wealth. So, he wants to highlight that if a person has a good knowledge and has an economic background, he will be able to flourish in any place. He was also called as Adam Smith was also called as the father of capitalism. That means he wanted to tell that capitalism is what it's aiming at, maximum profit, right? So he's telling that he is also trying to tell us that, you know, how man can make whatever little he has, with that he can make the ultimate use of that particular product. Now below that we have the globalization of the economy. Now there are certain policies, economic policies are granted. Why? Because now you are trying to open the window to the world, right? So globalization is what it is, none other than it is a process by which you are creating a borderless economy with the world. It gives rise to free trade with any country whom you want to trade with. So there is no restriction, or there is no wall that okay, I cannot trade with another country. No. So globalization means I am putting up a product which will be sold by, and it will move to any part of the world. It allows you to create a global market and accordingly create products with a high standard and price it wisely internationally. That means when you make a product, you are not only keeping in mind the Indian population or the population of your neighboring countries, but you are trying to keep it on a global level. So you have to be a person with a little, you know, extraordinary, or a person with a little high caliber, right? Now there are certain advantages of globalization. They are also trying to say that the world, to bring the world together, you need to be a very good like, you know, you can be a very good orator, you can try to display things, you can speak, you can have, like, you know, you can use any mass media to put forth your information. You can make very good creative ads which will go in a long run. Increased flow of communication with your individuals and corporations around the world. That means now the world is your market. So you have to create and try to make use of all your talent and try to achieve or try to get the crowd hearing you. Then you should also look at the speed of transportation of goods and people. That means you can try to, they should like, you know, you can either, like, for example, if I order something on Amazon, I will like it will tell me the delivery date, when it will be available, how much I have to pay. I can send my like, you know, credit, I mean I can send my transaction, I can make my like, you know, pass on. All this information can be done through the mobile, right, or through your internet. So like that I am trying to hit the market using technology. Now what are the functions of an economy? Now when I talk about functions, I have to keep in mind what to produce, how much to produce, why to produce, and for whom to produce, because every country has a different economy. Now because if the country has a different economy, their requirement also will be different, right? So that's why now I turn to page number 66 of my textbook. Now here they are trying to tell us that the main functions of the economy are deciding the product, the quantity of the production, minimize the cost. That means they want to tell us that first I need to decide what I am going to produce and how much I am going to produce, and also see that it should not cross my budget also, right? It should be like, you know, inside my budget, and plus it should also be like, you know, I am also doing justice to the society. Like the next point is trying to tell me that distribution of national income according to social and economic justice. That means I should see that everything whatever I am doing are on the national level, plus appropriate provisions for the economic needs of the future. I can't produce something which will just be for like, you know, I should always keep in mind the long term goals, right? I should not try to satisfy the short term goals, but try to satisfy long term goals. So I should also see the future. Deciding for whom the goods will be produced. Now here that point also has been covered up. That means I have to keep target in mind whether my product which I will be putting up in the market will be for the children, or it will be for the youth, or for the elderly people, or for the young generation. So all that has to be planned, and then it will come forth in the market. Thus, an economy strives to create a balance between limited resources and unlimited needs. Right? So, that also is one point. That means they are trying to tell us that economy strives to create a balance between limited resources and unlimited needs. Now I turn to question number 1 of your textbook, where they have given us the diagram. There are certain places where question marks are there. So there is a inner circle where they have listed out 3 boxes are there, and you will mention there what are the 3 economies with there, filling that. Then you have a second one, which are the countries which will come there. Then you have the third, where you are talking about the management is in private hands. One is given there, but the other 2 are blank. So you have to write down that. Then the next one, achieving social welfare, right? That was for the socialist economy. Then next to that, those other columns are with a question mark. So you will have to fill that in the textbook itself. Then after that, I want you to do the next, add one question there, question number 4. That is these questions I am adding. One is define economy. Then second one is features of the economy, factors affecting economy, and then main functions of an economy. Economics is an important social science. Then the last question is, what do you mean by globalization? Right? So I end with this few questions which I have added down. You can either stick 2 pages in the center here of your textbook, and you can write down the answers on them. Right? Stay safe, stay indoors. All the best, students. Thank you.